So, hi everybody and welcome back. And this is Unreal Engine 5 tutorial series for our beginners, and this is our overview. And in this video, I want to show you a little bit programming in C++ and compare it with blueprints. But actually, I have not connected C++ with Unreal Engine 5 because this is just a preview, and I have it with my Unreal Engine 4, but I show you anyway only the programming part. So only a short overview and compare it to blueprints and say why I think blueprints is good and why C++ is good. So let's get started. First of all, in the last video, we created a little bit code in our character. You can click on content drawer and find your third person character, or you go to world settings, click on default pawn, browse to asset, and it pops up. Double click on it and we are here. And then in event graph we created this thing here down where I press the key and then the animation is played, sound is played, special effect is played, and the animation is resetted back to its start animation. And this one is called blueprint coding, and this one is actually also C++ coding under the hood, but it is translated to this node system. So, I said this blueprint coding is compared to C++ very easy because you don't need no exact name, and you probably remember how I created these nodes. I think I didn't know any names at all, and I guessed it was something like play animations, and then I wrote there animation, and then I found an option. There is it, what I wanted, play animation. Here I wrote sound, and then I had again some options here, play sound at location or play sound 2D. And then I said I need this location. So you see, I didn't know the name exactly, and that's the opposite in C++. Let's switch here to, let me switch here. Oops, what is that? Here to C++. Here I have followed a tutorial on YouTube. My C++ knowledge is also only on a basic level, and I learned Unreal Engine C++ too. So if you have no programming knowledge, you can skip this. This is more for the programmers who already know probably C++ and want to create and want to know how to use it with Unreal Engine. So the start point for a programmer is you should already know C++. At least the basics. You don't need actually very advanced stuff. That is the good thing for basic things like here, what I'm going to do. But if you know the basics, this is a very good start point. So a basic C++ tutorial is a requirement here, and then you learn the connection with C++ to Unreal Engine, and that is very easy because it is just a little extension, and I show you that here, what you have to do there. For example, you learn macros, and these macros are actually the extension, and there are only 5-7 macros which you learn, and that's it. For example, you have here a uClass macro, and then sometimes there are properties. You learn what the uClass macro did, and more important probably what you write here in the parameters. And that goes here also for uProperty macro, and you see we have here some parameters, but there are more options. You read this one time through and you know it. It's very easy if you already know C++. And then You have also a U function macro that goes here the same. It's called U function, U property. And there are some, these are the main ones I think, but there are some more for other functionalities, not so much more. There are probably other things too, but these are the basic ones. I would at start, you can see what I use here, the U property and U function and U class. And important thing to know is here, this macro is only here to translate this C++ code to Unreal Engine. Yes, it is just a translator. So it sent this class and translated to Unreal Engine. It sent this property and translated to Unreal Engine. So you can use this even in a node system and so on. It is just a translator, more or less, this macro system behind the scene. But when I hover over this macro, sometimes they are not so easy. So you can see, yeah, whatever, so too complicated not, but they are very easy to learn as a programmer anyway. But then one more hint for a programmer: if you are learning programming in Unreal Engine, you should learn programming with example game, I would say, because not only the macros are important, very important is, of course, that you know the function names. For example, in Blueprint, let me switch here again to our Blueprint system. When you learn blueprints, you will learn the most important nodes. For example, here, when you want play animations, then you know anything with animations node, and you write animations and then play animations. And if you need sound, then you write sound and find the sound node, and so on, right? So you see, you need here the names, the node system. You can guess it a little bit and then write it, and there is a pop-up menu, and that is the problem in let me switch here to Unreal Engine, to Visual Studio C++, for example. You have, there are some IDEs who have also a guessing system, I think. You write some words and then they are popping some options, but in general the problem is you need to know these names, at least if you use the free version of Visual Studio. So what I mean with that is you will have to learn at least the common functions names which you use most time, and they are repeating anyway, so they are not that much. But the bad thing is you have to write it correctly or it will not work, and that's the problem. But as a programmer, you are anyway used to that. I think they have no problems with that. If you already learned C++, you know this already, that you have to find the function name and how to get it and how to make it. So for those guys, they know it. And this is also for, on the other side, for new people who are beginning with programming. This is the problem with programming in C++, like Visual Studio here in text format. It is, yeah, it is not difficult, but the real difficult thing is you need to write it really correct. I think that's the most difficult part here, because you can see there are some names. Let's look this a little bit. You can see this, let's go here down. For example, this function name, it is written destroy, then upper name floor, then tile. If you write here, if you forget here, for example, O, or you write this F little with a not with a capital letter or something like that, already this one will not work. Even you wrote destroy floor tile, but you wrote this one with a lower letter instead of a capital letter or something like that. This is really annoying. This is time wasting, and yeah, that's the real reason why C++ is compared to Node system very also C++ is more complicated. And also, if you forget here something like the semicolons, or you make something not right, like the definition, then you have here a big problem. Let's compare it here one more time with our node system. If I make here something wrong, let's go here. I demonstrate this one again. I want to play this animation. Of course, I have also find the right starting point and so on. Yes, in programming section you learn this, but later, if I don't know this name here, play animation, I wrote just here anim and then animation verbs, animati, and then I jump here to the animation section, and then I see here already some options, and then, oh, not set animation, play animation. Oh, I have here another option. Perhaps I can use this, and then I read the tooltip and whatever, or set animation mode. No, I say I need perhaps this, and you see what I mean here. You can just guess the name and it pops up as a node, and then I just set this asset, for example, which I should play. If I do this one, later we learn also how to convert a blueprint, for example, in C++ in a actually not in this overview. You learned this one more in the coding section if you are interested how to convert a node to C++ or the other way around, how you make a C++ expose in Unreal Engine. There you can learn this one, and that's why many like this blueprint system. So blueprint system has many advantages, but it has also many disadvantages, and let's talk about this one too. So what is the disadvantage of the blueprint system? I'm not a very experienced one, but I heard it from many people, and I can think about it too. So, and what is that? This blueprint system, when it becomes very complex, and complex means when you have, let's scroll here out and the screen is full, this blueprint system can get becomes very difficult to maintain, and also it becomes very slow compared to C++, because the blueprint system is slow. That's very clear, and that's why if you are going to make a very fast-paced game, what means fast-paced game? For example, you know, this FPS games on the internet with the competitive mode where you have to react in really milliseconds and so, then this approach could be too slow with yes, with the node system here, because then you will use more C++ because you want the speed. You want that it can react really in milliseconds over the internet. Because on a complex system, this one becomes significantly slower, I think, compared to C++. This is one advantage, and I think the real big advantage that C++ have compared to the node system, because this one, on the other hand, with this one you can make so fast prototypes, so fast basic systems. You can't do this here really. You have to type. Alone the typing here takes so much time. You can make this in no time here. Just connect this one. If you know what you search, then you type here a little bit, it pops up, you select it, you go to the next and connect this, and it's finished. Here on the other side you can do the same if you are very experienced, but you have to type it, you have to know it, which means you can do the same too very fast, but only if you are experienced, which means as a starter, no, but an experienced person on the other side, it's another story, because he knows already all the comments, right? And he probably made already these things, and perhaps he already made his own little library where he can just write one comment here and pull it out of there and integrate it here instantly. But these programmers are very experienced. They already have made probably several programs in Unreal Engine, tested them, saved them, and so on. And then you are very fast too, but still prototyping is not a system faster, but on the other hand, you will get the advantage of C++ speed, and that is very important for big games and very important for fast-paced games. But on the other side, for slow games, not really. But in general, C++ will be needed for bigger projects. This is so the thumb rule. If your project is very small, or yeah, small, let's call it small, then this system will be good. But if your game becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, which means bigger means here many systems, many, and here, of course, what means many systems? For example, you have inventory system, chat system, I don't know, many other things what you can include in a game, trade system and marketplace system and so on, whatever you can think about it. And all this should communicate later together, interact together, and then in a very short amount of time, then this blueprint system will start to struggle because of the speed. And I think mainly because of the speed, but there are probably other problems too, because they said it's harder to maintain because C++ is more tested, I think, compared to Blueprint. But blueprints are very good if you are doing this very well. Here is also a debug system, will work too. But many people go then to C++. So there is a reason to learn for programmers later C++, what I'm going to do now too, actually. And I think that's it what I want to talk about. Yes, that's it what I want to talk about. So these are the main, let's say, there are much more to talk about, of course, but this is the main reason why you should use C++ or the blueprints. But here, general rule, at start, definitely go for, I would say go for, what I'm doing here, go for blueprint system, because even you are using later C++, you will need this one too, at least know which nodes here are. And as a programmer, this one is very easy because you already know under the hood what this means, and then you just finding this, connecting this one. It's very easy. And as a starter, you should go also for the blueprint system, of course. You will be able to create with these games, like I said, but if you make later a very big game, but till there is a long time because you have to cover more basic stuff, then you will know what to use and probably will go as a programmer with C++. But you will still need this blueprint system. You still need this because that is very important to know too. Because Unreal Engine, and if you read also the documentation, is using both in later projects. For example, even in big projects, you use still blueprints. but very critical things you can use C++. This is so most times said. For example, what they mean with critical is heavy calculated procedures, and so then you use C++. But for very basic things, if you want just make a simple main menu on the top, you can make it just fast with some clicks with blueprints, and that's it. So you don't need go for basic stuff to C++. You go, yes, in the later you will see, you will make a combination. For example, you will go here, parent class is a C++ class, for example, here on the right side, and then you still use blueprints here, because in C++ you have already coded something, but you don't want to make all in C++. For example, set up a user interface. You don't want to program something like that in C++ because it's much easier to do in the in user interface widget blueprint in Unreal Engine. Okay, I think I talked again here too much. The general rule: learn blueprints. You must learn it anyway. And if you know C++, that's perfect, because later you can use that one combined, of course, with blueprints. And if you don't know C++ and you are very interested in programming and bigger projects, I would recommend you to learn C++ basic level at least, and then Unreal Engine. C++, that's, you don't need to learn it very high at start, but the basics, yeah, I would go there, this line. And that's it for this programming overview. But these are things for the future. At start, learn just blueprints, I would say. And I stop here. So, bye all.